You ready?
You got questions? Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Philip Z says, what's something you wish you had done 10 to 15 years ago instead of now?
Whoa, that's good. 10 to 15 years ago. I'll go with 15 years ago. That was right before I got married.
All right.
I wish I had really delved into, and I'm not just saying this because it's what we're talking about, right? What it means to be a man and what it means to be a prince of heaven and a son of God. I wish I had thought about it more. Like, because even right now, I can intellectually assent to that, right? Yes, I am a prince of heaven. I'm a son of God. Go team, right? But getting married to my bride, and I know we all say this, right? 10 years ago, I thought I loved my wife, but now I really love her. And 10 years from now, I'll say the same thing. That's good. That's true. But less my relationship with her and more like my own relationship and my own understanding of who I am. I didn't delve into that at all. I became Catholic, or I started caring about my faith because this really, really pretty girl thought it was probably a good idea, right? And then I liked it. And I liked the guys who were doing those kinds of things, right? And so it was a much more performative faith. And I wish that I had taken a step back. It wasn't bad. In fact, it was really, really good. But it was it was much more performative. I didn't have a sense of like my. Sorry, I know I am rambling.
No, it's great.
My primary vocation, I didn't understand what that was. My primary vocation is not marriage, right? My primary vocation is salvation, followed immediately by my wife's salvation. And I didn't understand that first part. Mm-hmm. I still struggle with that.
Do you think you would have known that 10 years ago?
No, I couldn't have understood that.
It's hard, isn't it, eh? Because, it's easy to look back 10 years ago and wish X, Y, or Z had happened, but I don't know. Because you also arrived at this probably through stupid mistakes that you may have made. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the whole Rascal Flatts, God bless the broken road thing, though. Like the redemption story piece. I did a retreat or a confirmation retreat for a bunch of high schoolers a few months ago. And I did this big piece about how like, I've got a cool redemption story. I just told it to you and I hate it. I don't like it. I wish I didn't have it. I wish that I could be like so many of these guys I know who are just good. They were always virtuous. Like that's a man. That's cool, right? These guys, like I can tell you a lot of stories about fist fights and drugs and girls and whatever. And it's like neat bar talk, but it doesn't make me a better father. It doesn't make me a better husband. And I really admire those guys who probably a lot of them think that they're boring because they don't have a conversion story. Or they don't have a redemption story. Yeah. But I think there's an innate lie in a lot of redemption stories that says, you got to sow your wild oats a little bit to come back, right? Yeah. You got to go, you're the prodigal son, you got to go out and do the stuff and the prostitutes and the whatever before you come back home. And then you can really appreciate, and that's a lie. That is a lie. If you have not fallen into, all these temptations and all this sin, that's the best. That's awesome.
You're kind of sounding like Therese of Lisieux right now. You may not have realized that.
That's the best compliment I've had in like a year.
Because, Christ says she's loved much because she's been forgiven much.
Right.
Therese says, but what about the one who hasn't been forgiven much? That's because she's been preserved from so much filth. Therefore, I'm even more loved, you see? Right. She applies that to herself, which I just think is beautiful.
I just look back.
She knows it's no merit of hers that she hasn't fallen into depravity.
I look back at stages of depravity in my life, and I'm just like, I'm embarrassed. I'm grossed out.
Yeah.
It's just... And yeah, you're right. There's some element to if all these things hadn't happened, I wouldn't be the guy I am today, probably, I guess, right? Yeah. But man, I'd give $1 million to go back and to have stood at the altar and married my bride and not brought all this baggage, right? Yeah. That whole God forgives us, nature doesn't, right? All those mindsets and habits and everything that I brought into this marriage. Mm-hmm. It was like, and good dudes, like good guys came in and just grabbed me by the collar and drug me forward, which was the best thing that ever happened to me. I've talked about this before, but
it's all good.
John Power.
I'm not bored.
John Power. You know John Power.
I love John Power.
Last name. He's a great guy. Cam, your bride was his youth minister forever ago.
Yeah.
I was at a party at a lake house or a beach, river house in North Georgia, having a great time, drinking, flirting with these girls, just making an idiot out of myself. And John Power's this good looking, athletic, just big.
Built like a brick
guys
outhouse.
like women wanted to marry him, guys wanted to be like him. And he kicked all the girls out at like 11 o'clock, and I was furious. And he put his giant hand on my shoulder and said, no, we're going to go talk about it. We're going to go talk about it. And drags me over to the hot tub. We sit in the hot tub, continue to drink and smoke. And he basically says, like, we got to kick the girls out. Otherwise, somebody's going to do something they shouldn't be doing, right? We're going to make some bad decisions. And
God bless
we're just going to sit here and talk. And then we talked, and he, like, just ripped into my heart over and over and over again with all the uncomfortable questions. Hey, when's the last time you looked at porn? Why do you do that? When's the last time you, why do you drink so much all the time? Why are you constantly trying to get with these different girls? Like, what's going on with that? And because I respected him, because he was this big, cool guy, I let him do it, and I answered his questions, and that began like the introspection of my own life. Let
me tell you another cool story about John Powers. So he came and visited us while we were living in Ireland, and he had been so inspired by, I think I'm remembering this correctly, he had been so inspired by a university professor that he had started to pray multiple rosaries a day so that he could eventually make up for all the days he hadn't prayed a rosary.
Awesome. Yeah.
Like that kind of thing.
That's great.
Really good dude. All right. Thank you very much for watching that Pints with Aquinas clip. If you like it, do me a favor, click like and subscribe, and please offer a Hail Mary for the work of Pints with Aquinas and all the people we're trying to reach. God bless you.